Guess heads or tails? Well, go on. Comment down below what you chose before the coin flips. It's tails. If you chose tails, congrats. You are now obligated to like the video. If you chose heads, well, you still have to like. Sorry man, I don't make the rules. Let's try to get 1,000 likes. Make sure to subscribe to the channel and join the team, as well as rock code PineapplezYT in the item shop, or at least someone else's code. Your support does not go unnoticed. We've got some breaking news coming up very soon, so make sure you stick around and watch the whole video. Yo, what's up guys? Welcome back to another video. So today is a pretty big day in terms of Fortnite news. I covered the whole cars deal and what's going on with that in my first video, and in this one I want to talk about possible leaks relating to us going back to the original Chapter 1 map. I also want to dive a little deeper into a crazy crashed spaceship zone in the map right now that actually gives us a lot of information about the storyline. We're going to dive into all this and more in just a second, but first, do me and yourself a favor and follow me over on caffeine.tv/drpineapples. I give away tons of free stuff every single day, and following me and checking out my stream is the #1 way to get a free skin gift. So in my first video I uploaded today, I covered this spaceship site a little bit, but not nearly in as much detail as I should have, and I just realized there is actually a lot more to it than originally meets the eye. So first of all, if you go to this mountain near Craggy Cliffs, you'll see a giant glowing structure in the side of the wall. Upon further examination, it looks like this is a part of the spaceship that is currently under the water. We'll get into that more in just a second. Why it's stuck into the side of the mountain, I have no clue, but it's definitely something to bear in mind as we go further into the season. Maybe something will happen with this, maybe this is some sort of device that will activate at a certain point throughout the season. Who knows? But anyway, if you continue a little bit further and go into the water, you can clearly see the very same spaceship that we talked about in the video earlier today, and even more interesting is the fact that there is a person inside of this spaceship. I had no clue this was a thing until I went and checked it out for myself. And if you go near the head in replay mode, you can see the person's face. Legitimately, you can see the person's face. Now, at first glance, this seems to be a male version of Siona. I've seen a lot of people say this could be a new skin, or this could be very simply the henchman that will exist around this POI whenever it actually is revealed to surface level. Another very interesting fact is that this spaceship seats 2 people and there's only 1 person inside. The empty seat in all likelihood at one point belonged to Siona. That's the only thing that makes sense. And who knows how long this spaceship has been here? You might think because this update introduced the spaceship to the game, it would be very recently, but I mean, that doesn't really apply. The logic there is sound, and it could be the case, but at the same time, Siona has been inside of this game, inside this season, in the Battle Pass since the very first day. Maybe this is the first time that Epic made this texture and this model under the water available for us to see. Based on the fact that you can see Siona in the original Season 3 loading screen standing on top of this very same spaceship, as well as all of the colors. The person inside who looks almost exactly like Siona down to the hair color. You have to assume that Siona and this guy in the capsule came to this map together, and for some reason, Siona managed to escape. But this guy is trapped inside, or is just staying in there on purpose. You would imagine that Siona and this guy would have both had the opportunity to get out at the same time if they wanted. I'm not sure why this guy is staying inside, or if he's kept inside by force. That's a good question. If you've been watching the channel for a while, you'll probably remember all of the different videos I've uploaded specifically about Siona, and how Siona is going to, at least in my opinion, heavily tie into this season's storyline. Well, it looks like that's very much the case based on new developments here with this update. Although it's most likely and most probable that Siona and the guy in the spaceship came together, it's also at least somewhat possible that this guy came separately after Siona. And maybe the second seat that's empty inside of the ship is simply meant for Siona on her return home. After all, based on her description, she is in a lost world, so maybe somehow she strayed far from home, and this guy is simply here to pick her up and take her home. I said before today's update that Siona was one of the most interesting and mysterious characters in the Battle Pass that we really haven't had an explanation for, and that just keeps on getting more and more mysterious, and it looks like Epic in some way is trying to give us at least somewhat of an explanation, and I can't wait until this POI is officially above water level so we can figure out more. Definitely leave your theories in the comment section down below. Did you enjoy the Chapter 1 Fortnite map, or do you prefer the Chapter 2 Fortnite map? Ever since Chapter 2 started, there's been an unbelievable amount of speculation from people who want the old map back as to whether or not at some point in the future it would return. I've often said that it would be really good as an LTM to have that old map back. I don't think we would go back to the new map so soon, until today. Now, this is by no means confirming anything whatsoever, but it's a very interesting tidbit, and I don't think you would disagree with me based on what I'm about to show you, that this is at least in some way referencing the Chapter 1 map. So if you've been on Twitter, if you've been on social media, or watched my first video today, you'll remember me talking about this new leaked bundle with the Summer Peely style, which I still think is like one of the most amazing skins ever put into this game. I mean, look at that, dude. It's literally a banana without the peel, wearing sunglasses. Speaking of the sunglasses, do you notice anything strange about the reflection? If you don't, that's completely okay, because at first glance, I didn't see anything either until I saw this Reddit post from user Freshwater, which points out that the reflection in Peely's sunglasses is basically the exact same as the loading screen we saw at the end of Season X, which saw all of the skins on the old island waving goodbye to the battle bus. This was the very first time that we thought and almost knew for sure that we were going to a different map for the next season, which at that point we didn't know would be a new chapter. I've studied this image a lot. I mean a lot. I've seen a lot of people on Reddit and on Twitter and everywhere I've seen this saying that, you know, it's not exactly the same, it's just a sunset. Maybe it's literally just a summer sunset because it's a summer themed skin. That could be true. All that could be valid. But at the end of the day, you cannot deny the similarity between that loading screen, which obviously was very important to letting us know we were going to an old map, and the reflection on the Summer Peely sunglasses. It's eerily similar. You can even make out what could be the battle boss's reflection from that loading screen. Everything seems to line up here. Now again, it's confirming nothing, and it could be just an Easter egg that means nothing. It could be unintentional and mean nothing at all and have no resemblance, but it's still something crazy that I think needs to be addressed, and this is something that we should bear in mind as we go into the future. Back in Chapter 1, obviously, the map was updated a ton. It saw so many changes and so many new POIs through the seasons, but it was still at its core the same base island. A lot of people, especially towards the end of Season 9 and Season X, wanted to see a new map, myself included. I thought it was time for change after 2 years almost of the same map. Could we be going back to the old map at some point in the future? Would you even want that to happen? Who knows what's actually gonna happen, but I will say there's something very nostalgic about that old map, man. And really, whether I would want it to come back or not would be based solely off of what version of the map we would get. If it was the Season X map, I probably would say no. If it was the Season 4 or 5 map, you betcha. By no means is the Chapter 2 map bad. It's quite good, to be honest with you, and especially this season and the tail end of Season 2, Epic Games has done a pretty good job of keeping things updated and keeping the map evolving. And I know the player base is kind of torn between whether or not they would want the map to come back or stay on this map, because for one thing, we've only been on this map for like less than 3 whole seasons so far, and if we go back immediately, that would be kind of a short-lived map compared to the old one. It really is gonna take time, and only time will tell as to what happens but I have a very important question for you in the comments. Would you be a fan of the old map coming back? I think, like what I said earlier, the best way to do it would be to have an LTM, so people who want to play on the new map can still play on the new map, but people who want to at least take a trip down memory lane could play on the old map, even for just a little bit. Thank you so much for watching. I'll catch you in my next video, and until then, take it easy and peace.